In number 9, I'm going to go ahead and change cosecant into 1 over sine, its reciprocal. Then I'm going to get a common denominator, which means I'm going to put sine on the bottom, but that's going to make sine squared since you have to put sine also on top. So then what we'll see is we have 1 minus sine squared on top over common denominator sine. Now 1 minus sine squared is Pythagorean, so that'll change into cosine squared. So find that on your note card if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then we're almost to what we need. If we split cosine into cosine times cosine over this sine, cosine over sine makes cotangent, and then you're left with that extra cosine that you need in the answer. So cotangent and then cosine. So that would be number 9. Number 10 got some sines in common and cosines in common. So you're going to want to take out a sine on top. So factor that out. And that's going to leave you with sine plus cosine. And on the bottom, you have a cosine you can take out. So we're going to factor out a cosine, which will leave me with 1 minus 2 cosine squared. When we look over here, I need tangent, which I have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take sine over cosine and make it tangent, which goes on top. Then on the bottom, I want sines and cosines. So if we take that 1, we can change it into a Pythagorean property. So, because I want sines and cosines, I can take 1 and replace it with cosine plus sine squared. So cosine squared plus sine squared, and then we still have this 2 cosine squared. Then over here, we've got cosines in common, so we can go ahead and subtract those. So that would be, I've got a sine squared, let's go ahead and leave that. And then I've got 1 cosine squared, take away 2 cosine squareds, which is a negative cosine squared. We're getting closer. Now the bottom needs to be factored. This is now a difference of 2 squares. So we leave the top. And we take the bottom and we split it into sine times sine and cosine times negative cosine. And the sine plus cosine cancels, and that is what we wanted to prove. Tangent over sine minus cosine.